hello there, Chick Chat. We're back with Love is Blind, the reunion. Usually we show up here on Thursdays, but I needed an extra day to digest that nonsense. So,
Well, they showed the episode late.
yes.
Showed the episode late.
Yeah, I know. I was hoping to watch that Wednesday morning when I was going to the gym or whatever, and they didn't have it even available till Wednesday evening. I was like, what?
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know? That must
No.
have been a bummer.
So then I didn't watch it till Thursday, but I was fine with that because I was, whatever.
I watched it right at 9.
Right at 9? Is that when it premiered? I thought it was like 7
Yeah.
or well, I guess it would have been 8 for me.
Probably. Yeah. I watched it at 9. That was the second that I had access to it. I thought that it was supposed to be a live premiere, but it just really released at 9. So whatever.
Well, there they are, the Lachey's.
I love this for them. It's so much better than the trash bag that she had on in the beginning of the season.
Now she is giving sequined bathrobe. She always wears such interesting outfits. I'm telling you, like there's this Sims pack. I know you guys are probably sick of me talking about the Sims on this channel, but there's this Sims pack called Glamour something, and that has the exact same robe as a nightgown, but just not glittery, but the same everything else about it. So I don't know, cute for the Lachey's.
Yeah.
So, you know what? They started this interview out the way I knew that they would. Ashley was literally on the edge of her seat, just freaking waiting to answer these. She knew she was going to have to deal with this first, and she wanted to deal with it first. It seemed like she was itching to tell us all that she was going to stand by her man.
Well, of course, she's going to come ready with a canned response to all of the stuff that's been going on in their life. So,
yeah, of course.
I don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised by her response. I mean, I think the big gotcha moment was when she said to us, like, I've been known this whole time. I knew before. Everybody thinks that I was had on the altar, like I was tricked or whatever. I knew. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I don't care if she wants to be with Tyler. Okay, like maybe I'm one of the minority. I don't really care if she wants to be with Tyler. My problem is that they didn't, one, ask this man enough questions about what's actually going on. Like they didn't ask about the twins.
Yeah.
They only blanketed all these kids under one explanation.
Right.
They did not talk about the fact that his baby mama put out these videos.
Yeah.
She wasn't a baby mama, but I guess like his friend or whatever, she put out these videos explaining he hasn't even talked to these kids in over a year. So where is that conversation?
Even if they don't go through all that in detail, because I understand they have a lot to get to, why don't they at least ask him, what is the relationship like right now with you and this friend, or you and these kids, or have you spoken to them lately, or what role are you playing in their lives now? Because we've seen online that you had a presence in their lives. Just asking those questions, one of those questions would have opened up some space for something here.
It was just hard to watch that because I'm like, okay, girl, like I get what you're trying to do here. I get you're trying to have your moment where, yeah, you're upset because the fans have been coming online and saying, get an annulment, get this, get that. And fine, you do not have to leave this man, okay? If you already knew about that, that's fine. But I think it's weird if you already knew about it that you are letting this man now decide he doesn't want to be a father to the kid. I'm confused. So
yeah, maybe this is an explanation. Thanks for the comment, and Blue. They think that maybe the videos came out after they filmed the reunion, but I don't know actually, because I don't know exactly, but I heard that the reunion was around the time that TMZ video came out with Nick. And that was after the videos. I know that he went on, I think, live and made a video.
That is a good question, because I do wonder when the reunion was filmed. Usually they film it like a week before that comes out. But I mean, it's still, I guess that could be an explanation. I'll buy that, because it is possible. It's possible. It is possible that the videos came out maybe right around the time of the reunion. But either way, this girl Ashley is now telling me that she knew this man had 3 kids, that knew what he looked like, because apparently he told her everything.
Yeah.
So that means he told her that he decided to be a father. And according to her own words, she said that it was admirable that when the girl got left by her wife, that he wanted to step in and be a father to those kids because that's not what he had growing up. So now he just gets to drop them. Like, someone needs to explain what's going on in the current situation right now. Are you involved with these kids? Do you pay child support? Like, what is going on right now? My problem is that they didn't ask any of those questions even without knowing the video.
Yeah. Well, because the thing is if they don't ask those, then we're left to believe. And I'm not saying I don't believe, but we're left to believe what the mother of his children is saying, which is that he's not involved at all. He's basically a deadbeat, and he owes this woman money that she deserves. So I don't understand why this is not brought up unless it's to save his reputation because he's one of their golden marriages. And I'm not saying golden like he's one of the best, but they tout these marriages so high. That's why he's not getting drilled like everybody else, because he's showing up married with his Spider Queen.
Spider Queen, I know. It had to have been around Halloween then, right?
It had to be.
The reunion was filmed in October of 2024, but what's the day?
Somebody I watch, I think Queen E on YouTube, she went through and she said, I'm just going to assume that they're all in Halloween costumes, and she gave them all names, and that was hilarious to watch.
I'm going to have to check.
Because what was it? Ramses, what was he wearing with his pants?
He looked like Prince.
He looked worse than Prince, though. Prince,
well, like a Temu Prince.
Yeah, that's it, because Prince was classic, classy, fashionable. This was like...
Yeah, so to get back to what's going on here, they wanted to put these people right in front and center in front of us. So this way they could just glaze over all these extra children and bodies. There's literally these twins that they don't want to touch on at all. And they're just gliding all past that, just the rest of the reunion, so we can be distracted by the rest of the reunion. Like,
yeah. I mean, it is what it is, right? These kids exist, and Tyler's going to do what Tyler's going to do, and Ashley's going to stand by her man. So I guess why go through it more? Just like Tammy, why not? So why go through it more? There is a lot more substance to get to in this reunion if they're not going to go in on him, which clearly they're not.
Facts. I just think she was kind of aggressive, but I don't care if they're together or they stay together. I just hope, for the sake of these kids, that Tyler is either paying some kind of child support or around, because if you don't want to talk about the fact that you had some of these kids out of just having kids and not the donations.
Yeah, the natural way.
Yeah, then you might owe some child support, especially if you were around and then you decided to not be around anymore.
I'm pretty sure I heard some numbers and everything.
3 kids for back support for a year, all that. Yeah. One thing I've learned, and I hope a lot of us have learned, is that when you decide to donate, make sure you don't know the people and you can remove yourself enough. If you're going to donate for a friend, you got to have all that stuff spelled out. You got to stick to it.
Yeah, you should have a written contract. But at that point, I wouldn't even call it a donation. I don't think that's a donation, even though you didn't do it the natural way. If you know them and you're going to see them once a year at a cookout or whatever, I wouldn't call that I don't know what the word is, but it's closer than a donation. A donation to me is like someone lives in this state and someone lives in that state and they never seen or heard from each other ever. Maybe I'm crazy. Let me know what you guys think.
For sure.
They treated Tyler with kid gloves, says user alien. Yeah,
they did. I mean, they avoided asking a lot of questions, and the perfect Lachey response, which is interesting because he was able to bring up Trevor and Trevor's ex and everything.
Trevor wasn't married. I really think that that's a lot of why they treated him with kid gloves, is because he showed up married and he stayed married, and somehow he swindled this woman into it. So I don't know.
Bless her.
Tails
He did do that with his friend.
Yes.
She explained
the way.
Yeah,
for the twins.
Yeah, she explained all of it. Yeah, and we did a live about it. It was actually our second live ever about this, going through all of her videos. So if you want to check that out, but yes, that's exactly what the friend said.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and that's why the friend identifies as a lesbian most of the time, all the time. So this is something that just happened. So it's not something that she probably necessarily wanted, out for people who don't know her to judge her about.
Yeah.
So,
and Tyler, I do find it interesting that Tyler was following her on Instagram until she put all those videos up, because that's how I found her. I did not find her because I knew her name. I was just kind of like going through Tyler's shit because I was really trying to figure out who they were even talking about. Because this is when things were blowing up about her and stuff. I'm like, well, maybe he's following her. And he was.
And she was talking right then and there for you.
It was perfect. It was like a perfect little storm.
Yeah. Good job.
I got all the answers I needed in like 5 seconds. It was crazy. But that's how the internet works. And he should have caught that. I love how he blows it all off. Like, yeah, there's some photos of me because I was kind of around. And it's like, but are you going to be now, sir?
Yeah.
I have so many questions that the Lachey's could have asked without even seeing those videos. But they didn't ask.
You know what? I am glad, though, that they admitted that production and everyone is okay, or at least people on the show are okay with just straight up lying on the cameras in order to save face, because we've all known that that's what's been going on. And it's hard to believe almost any storyline these days because it's either overproduced and over edited, or somebody is not exactly being truthful about what's going on. So I don't think they did it on purpose, but props to them for admitting several times over that they decided and manipulated themselves what their storyline was going to be. And maybe they thought that they could pull one over on everybody, but obviously they did not.
Yeah. And I've been wondering this honestly myself for the last couple of seasons, if Netflix, deliberately picks some people. I think they've gotten lucky a couple times with coincidences, but it seems like to keep the show interesting, it's just, they're starting to not care. They say they vet really good. Like, who was it? I think it was Nick that said they went through like 12 interviews or something. And I'm like, that is a lot of interviews, but that doesn't mean that you can't go through 12 interviews lying your face off.
Right. No, Tails, I'm not flabbergasted that reality TV isn't reality, but it's annoying that every time we get to these reunions, what we hear is, oh, well, it was the edit, or oh, well, it was this, or we decided what our storyline was going to be, and we just ended up getting, sold out. That's the part that is annoying. Not exactly that reality TV isn't reality. Obviously that's true. There's lots of things that are edited, and storylines, of course, are fabricated for our entertainment, and I am entertained. But I just hate the blame and this and that. I don't want it to be so distorted that people can hide behind it.
Well, ever since season 4 now, someone has been accused of doing this only for fame. So now it's got this other element of who is the one doing it for fame this season, and it's like all of them are a little bit. I mean, you don't sign up for a TV show.
This is season 7.
Yeah, you don't sign up for a very well-known TV show without wanting a little bit of fame.
I think everyone is hopeful, like the production and the people who are bringing on the people, that they're also coming for love.
Frozen, Brooke?
I don't think so. I might be. Am I now?
You're good. Okay. Sorry, ChickChat. Okay. Little technical difficulty there for a second.
Yeah, that's okay. But yeah, I mean, I think that they think that everyone's hopeful that they also want love in addition to fame. Everybody does want fame, yes.
Mm-hmm. I think you kind of have to a little bit for it to kind of be a thing, to even sign up.
Mm-hmm. True.
Let me get these people up here, because you know what was also quite interesting. Oh, this is a horrible photo, but fuck it.
Everybody does come for the tea and the drama. You're right.
Yeah. So now they have all the old cast members up there. Speaking of Zach and Bliss, and them teasing their child and then not showing us said child. Like, oh, you guys might
showed us this way or something. Of that child. It was not an actual face, but Anne told me that they have not showed this child's face yet. So I guess it would be cute for them to do it on the Love is Blind reunion, but I don't see that actually happening if they chose.
I'm just like, don't even say it. Just say my kid's backstage, whatever.
Right.
They went through their little love story. I mean, everybody on this couch pretty much got touched on. Like, I mean, we went to Jessica at one point, and everybody is shook.
Why is Marshall so close to AD?
Exactly. I mean, I'm getting there. But we went to Jessica at one point. She looks totally different, but the same, and it's weird. And that's pretty much all I got out of her segment. I mean, she's happy now. She's got a child. Awesome. Great for her. I'll never forget her sharing her wine with her dog. And right. That's what she'll always be known to me for.
Right.
And then you have Nancy, which I'm like, Nancy, why are you always here? She's always there.
She is. She's kind of just at this point, what is it, a cornerstone of the Love is Blind reunion? Yeah. She just has to be there or something would be wrong. Same thing with Zach and Bliss. They just have to be there.
Even talk to her or acknowledge her, but they always put her right there.
So. I know. But then, I think AD looked uncomfortable.
I mean, they're sitting so close, her and Marshall. I kind of thought they were together, especially when Nick Lachey kept asking her questions. And why did he keep randomly calling her name out during arguments and stuff? He'd be like, AD.
Right.
What's his obsession with her?
I don't know. She is the one who talked the very most. So, Tails, I could see if you think that she's one of the most annoying alumni. She's one of the most outspoken alumni. That is definitely true. Yeah. I like AD though, personally, but I could see your perspective.
I don't usually care about him after the show, so
also true. You know what? I did not recognize AD at first. I was like, oh, Marshall's got a really pretty woman.
Well, Marshall's been engaged another time. I mean, I don't know if he's still with this other girl that he was engaged to most recently, but yeah, I had a feeling that they were going to tell me that Marshall and AD were on Perfect Match together or something. I was waiting for that announcement for season 3. Perfect Match.
Well, rumor has it that AD is on Perfect Match and that she ended up getting with somebody from Perfect Match UK that was just released recently. So apparently that's who she was referring to at the reunion when she said she's with somebody or whatever. It was kind of annoying the way that she tiptoed around that, but she just seemed nervous.
Well, you know who else was nervous? Not this girl. This reunion was pretty much all about this girl.
Yes.
It was her reunion and we were just here for it.
Mm-hmm.
Not only about her relationship, but she also butted into other people's issues too. So
she did. She really did. She had a lot to say.
Yes, she did. And we're going to start off talking about her and Ramses. I mean, they really kind of dug their heels deep into Ramses. I don't blame them. This man was really difficult for me to watch. But like I've said a million times, he gives me such bad PTSD. I had an ex-boyfriend that looked exactly like him, that talked exactly like him, that had the same type of weird feminist but not feminist issues like him. It's just they're strange bunch. That's why I keep calling them a hobosexual, because my ex was. But there's something about Francis. Something about Ramses. Something about Ramses just throws me, and I think it's just because he reminds me so much of my ex. So I'm so predispositioned to this man to begin with. So I'm always gonna be
definitely. You're definitely triggered. But what was triggering for me is like you're definitely take a deep breath. What was dumb for me was that he tried to take some accountability for the whole contraception versus, basically raw dogging it conversation. And, he came in and said he blamed the edit first and foremost, that there was a lot more context to the conversation, But he also started using all this, I don't know, informed mumbo jumbo. He used bigger words. He referred to more options. I just feel like he went back after he caught all this slack for being the way he is, and he did some research, and maybe he is better now, but he was not then, and he's not taking accountability for that. He's just blaming the edit. And that's just par for the course for this guy to me. I don't think that he actually stands on what he preaches. I think he just has a lot to say and probably likes to listen to himself talk.
Yeah, I agree with you, Tails, especially when it comes to that military stuff. Like, he knew what he was signing up for with this girl, and he also overlooked his own red flags with her. Like, they both did it with each other. It's just, when it came to that breakup scene, I just wish Netflix would have cut it off after a couple of minutes. Like, I did not need to see this girl wailing on the floor for 10 minutes. And then now we're going to talk about how sad it was.
Yeah, and her mom is going to, her mom, I get it, she was there. She helped her through all of it. I do think it's important that she was asked, is this the first time you saw Ramses? And she said, no, I actually saw him that day. I almost think she should have just left it at that.
Yeah, because her mom outed her basically saying that she was so upset you broke her. My mom would never let you know that you broke me.
No, and that's when Marissa started breaking down on stage, when she was outed, basically. So I think that's something that Marissa needs to speak for herself for. I don't think that the mom is as bad as she looked when she first met Ramses. I thought that came off really bad, but that could have been a lot of the edit too. But I mean, this mom is just, she's been through a lot. Obviously, she's learned a lot. She doesn't want to see her child get hurt. So I'm not mad at her, but
can we just take a moment to acknowledge, look how dirty they did Stephanie. Is that her name? Katie? Stephanie? I don't know. But
Katie, I think.
They sat her with the moms and the parents, and there's a whole other cast of Love is Blind ex-cast members she could have sat with.
They sat her with... You're right. Well...
They put her in between Ashley's mom and Marissa's mom. Is she supposed to be Hannah's mom or her bestest friend of all time or something? Like, what? Why did they do this to poor Stephanie Katie?
Yeah, isn't she in the pod squad? Shouldn't she be with the cast members? Shouldn't she be sitting next to Marshall or something?
I'm like, I couldn't get over this the whole time that they would pan over to the parents, and then you see Katie in the middle of it. Like, whose child is yours? I couldn't. Sorry, I have to point that out. The ironicness of it. I'm like, you got to sit at the parents' table. Is that like the equivalent of the kids' table when you don't really make the full cast? But
yeah,
we got to put you somewhere because you were mentioned in the episode.
Yeah.
So
yeah, very true.
Yeah.
And Tail says everyone was Hannah's best friend, and that Marissa had more negative things to say about Nick than Ramses. This I can actually get behind, because I think, well, I can get behind both of these, but this one I think is important because Marissa's scene happened before Hannah's, and I think Marissa was just crying the whole time, and then all of a sudden she got angry and she just took it all out on Nick because the time had passed for Ramses. So I think you're exactly right. There was a lot of yelling about.
Well, she was admittedly still screwing Ramses afterwards. I mean, this girl was. Does it go to the ground, girl? Like, does it go to the ground or does it go past the ground? Like, why are you so done up for this man? Like, what was he bringing to the table? I'm not sure I ever saw it. And he didn't even come in with his damn dread braid things. Like, those might have really been clip-ins.
I think they were clip-ins. I truly think they were. And Marissa's mom was right. She would have had to carry that relationship, because I don't know what Ramses was doing here.
That was the best thing her mom even said. She could have just said that line, and yes, this is the last time I saw him, but thank you for breaking up with her, because that was the best
thank
thing
you. You did this girl a favor. I never have to see your ugly, stupid little clip-in dreads ever again.
Yeah.
Bye. That's what a mother says. That's what my mom says.
But yeah, let's get into
move on to Hannah. It sounds like it's time for
Let's get into Hannah. So Hannah and Nick were finally talked to after the little Marissa meltdown.
Yeah.
Hannah didn't really take accountability for anything. Everybody's kind of noticed that. She was very stoic. She looked great. I will say that. I love her hair. Yeah. But she was she came in for a fight. She was ready to show down.
Which is dumb, because she also came in knowing that she needed to take accountability for the way that she's been talking to Nick all season long, but she also wanted to argue with him about what he said about her. And she came off to me looking worse than she looked all season long. At least all season long, I had the context of knowing that she was obviously insecure. She was trying to feel like she could pick up the pieces and be useful by being intelligent or whatever. I was trying to be able to make sense of it. But she just came in, I know I'm a bitch, but I am direct and I'm working on that, but also shut up and let me talk, and you're not going to talk because you said I'm ugly. It's just a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot of back and forth, and her saying one thing, Nick saying another. I think she was trying to throw a lot of extra blame on Nick because she's trying to get away from this bully stereotype or whatever. And she's just like, I'm not sorry. I'm just blunt. I'm just blunt. I'm just a blunt person. I'm like, okay, girl.
No, but the themes of some of the things that you were bringing up were not okay. And if you really felt this way about Nick, you should be asking yourself what you were doing with him rather than trying to yell at him about who he is.
Nick. Once we get married, Nick, my debt becomes your debt, and then my debt again, Nick. I take out the trash, Nick. I take out the trash every day, twice a day, Nick.
And
do you even know how to take the trash out, Nick?
Have you ever walked a dog, Nick?
Honestly. I actually did notice the Padawan braids on said Ramses. I believe he gave Marissa his Padawan braids in the breakup. So I think that's why we're not seeing the Padawan braids.
Oh, sort of like, you know how those rabbit feet are lucky? like a lucky X braid, something like that.
Can't be lucky. Like some kind of omen or curse or something.
It's crazy. It's just like when Cody wanted Mary to keep the furniture.
Well, and this was my problem too, Tails. So yeah, she got mad that Nick said something about her looks, but she mentioned his height a dozen times. You could tell at the reveal that neither of these parties were happy with what they got. But especially her. She was immediately talking about, he's short, I'm taller than him, I'm this, I'm that. So I mean, you can't really be like, well, he was mean to me, and but you're also being mean to him.
I do think Nick brought out all of her insecurities, and that wasn't fully displayed for all of us to see because of the things he was saying about her looks. But we did see that he was already bringing out her insecurities because she had built up who he was and that he was this football guy and he was gorgeous and he's a smooth talker and how could I ever be good enough for somebody like this? And then she sees him and she's disappointed because she's built him up too much. So the whole thing was just, it was never meant to work out, but she definitely could have been kinder. And I'm glad that she says she recognizes she needs to figure out her delivery, but I don't think it's just her delivery. I think she needs to work on her inner self.
Herself.
I'm just going to say it that way.
To be honest, yeah.
Because I like Hannah. I feel bad for her that a lot of people are really going in on her online. I think she's a well-intentioned person, but I think she's a little naive.
I think she's rough around the edges.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
But that's the thing. People were they've been doing this last couple seasons where they talk up themselves. Didn't he say also compare himself to Travis Kelce? He's been, the things is she said she was Taylor Swift. Like stop. Let's leave the celebrities out of this. All right, like you guys should be banned about talking any look. So this way, no one's shook or surprised anymore at these reveals.
Henry Cavill, the British actor, Tails. This person. This person.
Oh no! Hopefully
he don't look like that.
He don't look like that.
His shoulders are not broad like that.
He really don't look like what he was putting himself out to look like in the pods. But I feel like half these people are kind of
true.
I don't know. Regardless, it was just the pettiest little fight going back and forth. They were trying to do him like they did Cole.
Well, what was stupid to me is that he wouldn't just own up for it. He made Nick and Vanessa, who don't even care to push people on things, go through almost every single one of those cast members and ask them what they had heard. When Nick himself could have just said, "Yes, this is what happened. This is what I said. I shouldn't have said it, or I stand 10 toes down and you're ugly." I mean, whatever. But admit to what you said. I hate when people just sit there and try to lie in front of people who know they're lying. Right. How weird is that?
And they go to Steven and Steven's like, yeah, no, he did. And then they go to Ramses. Well, Ramses at first wasn't saying nothing. And Ramses like, of course you're not saying nothing, Ramses.
That's so true.
Relax. You act like you were in that relationship. She's like, I used to like you, Nick. Yeah, I did used to like you. But then I saw that you wrote a list that said that you want to be the most famous person on Love is Blind. What is that? And he wasn't, okay? He was not the
He
most famous.
never would be, but he did write that list.
He wrote the list, and every single one of those people that signed up for that damn show as well wanted to be the most famous person on that show. I don't give a crap what they say. They all wanted the same damn thing. Stop being mad. Stop being mad about people signing up for reality TV because they want to be on reality TV when you're also signing up for reality TV because in part you want to be on reality TV. You can sign up for a matchmaker. You can sign up for any other way.
Right. But I feel like if your intentions were pure and you know you were going on Love is Blind, wouldn't you say something like, I want to be the most in love person on Love is Blind? Wouldn't that also make you famous on Love is Blind? Like, what's his name? The shoe guy and that girl?
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, if your intentions are pure, but a lot of these people's intentions are not pure. I mean, but what I'm saying is Nick's not the only one on that couch that signed up for that.
I think N Blue is in agreement.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. You know you're going on a TV show, so if you have to there's got to be a small part of you, even if you came on with the best of intentions, that is kind of like, oh, I'm gonna get some kind of exposure. I might get a brand deal. I might get a couple extra $1,000.
For sure, you never have to go back to your normal job after Love is Blind, even if you're the most, even trophy wife girl is probably, well, she wasn't gonna work anyway.
Well, there's some of them that have struggled with their finances, like Nick from season 2, and I mean, there's not been all success stories, but in a sense, it can help you.
The opportunities are extended.
And you can now get on Perfect Match or other shows. Like now you're starting to build, just like they're throwing Jessica season 6 in her face all the time. We're going to see these girls all the time too. Yeah. So put this up. It says, Hannah quit her job and hired an agent, so she's crazy to try to blame him for... Exactly. She didn't have a job the whole time. He's still doing real estate. So he could have went on there to not fall in love at all. But that's Netflix's job to vet that crap out, and they don't care.
Well, and I think it was Tails that said it earlier. I mean, some of that I think is by design. They want to bring people on who are not going to be boring and who are going to want to put on a show and who are going to want to stand out, but also hopefully find love and also hopefully get married and whatever. But yeah,
but I don't think that was Hannah's intention. She's also one of the youngest on there. I don't know if her true intention was to get married, especially after seeing Nick. I don't think she was ever going to get married to Nick after seeing him. But
I don't think so either.
Because her whole attitude towards him changed after the pods.
Especially after the Nick.
I used to be fun.
I used to be fun. Now I can't even ride a duck, Nick.
I would never get on one of them things, Nick.
Give me the ick, Nick.
The ick, Nick.
Icky, Nicky. Okay, sorry, guys.
Sorry, I had to get that out. It's festering in me.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
So anything else on them?
I mean, I guess not. Anything else on them?
What are we forgetting?
Yeah, is there anything I'm missing? Because sometimes I am, and then I go back and either see something or I'll remember something, and I'm like, man, I should have touched on that because.
Yeah, I mean, we can always come back. It doesn't have to be exhaustive, but this is how I feel about them.
This is how we feel. What did they do after them? Didn't they? They went in at Garrett had a fit because he was sick of everybody complaining.
Garrett annoyed me during this time. I understand that you're here and you're married and you're above it and you're really cool now because you grew out your hair and you're wearing leather jackets, but I don't think you're above all of this. You are married and cool now with your hair and wearing this stuff because of this show. Yeah. So I'm sorry you have to sit through some of this drama that you wouldn't otherwise watch on TV, but you came on to the reality show. So we're going to talk about
him and Nick are giving Zach and Paul. That was the exact way that Zach was facially when they were going at Paul for stuff.
I'm not intellectually stimulated enough.
Yeah, this man is either bored out of his mind. He don't care about any of this. It looks like Garrett was forced to be there.
No.
But I gotta give
It didn't look like she was having a great time either.
No, I gotta give her a 3-second shout out on her outfit. That was pretty cool. I hope that I don't know if that's a cast of a real body, but now I basically know what that woman looks like naked.
I think that's a cast of her actual body. That's got to be custom, right?
Pretty impressive.
She sat up like this the whole time. You can't sit back in that.
She can't sit back.
She went full Kim Kardashian, and she was committed.
She forgot she had to sit the whole reunion. It's like, I didn't think this through.
Ashley's outfit was also so tight that I'm not sure she could necessarily say either with her. I mean, her spiders were another thing, but this part and her torso was so tight.
Mm-hmm.
She looked like she had to sit up too. So they were just coming to look like the wives that they are.
Yeah. But Garrett was not pleased with any of this.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a moment. Sad guy.
And then they still kept arguing.
Tail says maybe it was a fancy body brace. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. They have been traveling a lot. She might have fell somewhere.
So true. What a great way to hide your broken rib.
A whole body, like paper mache cast.
No, this is something for sure. Yeah.
I like it. I like this. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyways, that was basically us talking about Garrett and Taylor, because really that's all we learn about them later is that they were traveling.
Yeah, they showed us their little. All the married couples usually get a 1 to 2 minute video of their life over the last year while they've been in hiding together. It's usually just a bunch of pictures and semi-video. So we got one for each of those couples, but that's really all we get. I mean, that's it.
Except for now, we have on to this man talking about instances where the cameras wasn't there, but some crazy things happened. Sleep studies happened.
I still don't believe any of this. I think, where did they get the receipt picture?
From him, I'm guessing.
Then I can't trust it.
I don't get it at all. I think this is such a weird thing. I don't think he was serious about getting married. He mentioned before about girls getting into his DMs to, S his D. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so once he said that at the party, I knew that he was another one of those that probably also had a list where he put most famous person.
Yeah, I think there was another F word that he wanted to be most on Love is Blind.
Yeah.
Or letter one.
He was, he chimed in on some of the drama. He would be like, no, or yes was said. But, when it came to his own, he seemed pretty straightforward. I don't know if this is a persona he has or if this is really how he is. So agreeable. Right. Like, yes, you're right. You are so right.
Right.
I shouldn't have done that. Like, I don't know if that's like legit or if that's sarcasm sometimes, but
I think that's a defense mechanism. That's just a way of him not having to actually really own up to anything, but just to sort of cut out. He's trying to cut out all the natural consequences of hurting somebody. Like, he did that to Monica when he was caught initially. Oh my God, it was wrong, blah, blah, blah. Let me go because I know you don't want to look at me. And then she starts crying and he's like, can't tolerate it because his whole thing is let me just be the nice guy and nobody's gonna blame me and that's gonna be okay and I can just sneak right out and slither on over like the slippery little dumpster fire that I am.
Him and Tyler thought they were just gonna skate right through this because I don't know why, but they really came in. Tyler had a plan. He's like, I got my woman to back me up. I got a plan. We're going to go in strong. We're just going to talk about it really quick, and then we'll never talk to us the rest of the episode. It's going to be great. Mm-hmm. We won't even speak up or nothing.
You would have thought that this man would have had a plan the way that they had him sitting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. Because to me, I didn't care that much about Tyler anymore. The second that I saw that they were still married, I didn't want to hear their story because I knew it was going to be some canned, stupid response that they gave us. And whatever, that's fine. That's their marriage. That's for them. I wanted to see, like, what's her name asked? Nancy, what's in the text? How did this go down? All of that, because we've just heard rumors about all the details lately. So I wanted to know all of that. And this man had forever to wait. And he gave us
Nothing.
Scatterbrained, weird responses. None of it was believable. I still don't think that he was at a sleep study.
I don't either. I'm with Marshall. Everything that was going on, I'm like, what are these? What is this? That's why they invited Marshall to this thing, was for his face.
Yeah, and AD for her
boobs. Yeah. Anyways, how Hannah found this list is wild, or is weird. Yeah, that is a little strange. She had it just like sitting up for her to find. Did he plant his own list because she made a list?
Well, that's what I'm saying. What is this list thing that they have going on? They're speaking to each other through lists and notes that they're leaving in the house for each other to find. How old are we? Are we about to get married or not? I mean, I know that they did not get married, and thank God for that. But you're going to write down the things that make you the most angry about your partner instead of sitting down a week before your wedding and talking it through and saying, these are my concerns. You're going to leave it on a list and hope that he finds it and interprets it in the correct way.
Right. And she made that list like a day or two into it. And then he's making lists. And then his explanation. And then his explanation for his list is this weird 90-day plan. I'm like, why would you make a list of a 90-day plan at the end of the plan?
You don't put the date at the end or at the you don't put the end date as the title. You don't.
So strange.
As someone who helps people make life goals, I've never put the end date at the title. But that I could be wrong. I know on the other side of the country they like to do their different months and dates and years than we like to do them. So I'm not saying I know everything, but I think that's a lie.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. I am not surprised, but
it does match their maturity level. Tails, you're absolutely right about that. It's like passing notes.
Yeah, it's strange. But this season was pretty strange, honestly. Like, there was a lot of weirdness. I mean, that whole text thing was weird. We'll go back to Steven for a second. Because what I found interesting is when I went on this guy's Instagram, he was like fighting with people in his comments, especially when people would talk about his dog. Like, don't come for that man's dog, okay?
I saw a screenshot of something like that, but I didn't really see any of that.
Well,
what the hell?
Thought he had like, okay, I can understand why he's upset because people were insinuating like a weird fetish with the dog. And I would be upset if somebody said that about me and my dog too. So I don't blame Steven on that one.
Well, he's weird.
Leave it to the imagination. Like, people are assuming that he's into some, you're into fetish kind of stuff. I bet you with your dog.
Okay.
And it's like, why do people even go there? I understand this man was weird, and I understand he said a lot of weird actual things, but
that doesn't mean that he's
they're still regular people. Like,
that's borderline kink shaming to me. Just because you have weird kinks doesn't mean that you're.
And it's a tiny little dog. Like, you guys are so strange. Just leave the dog alone.
Really? Okay, no. They've gone too far with this man.
Yeah,
there's a lot of ways.
Steven on that. I was like, okay, yeah, you talked like that about my dog, I might, have an Instagram meltdown as well. But
he had a meltdown?
Yeah, he had like a little post meltdown. It's like the only thing I saw on his Instagram, because once I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm done with this mage. Like, this is weird. I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. So, because I'll look at these guys' Instagrams for like, the first week or so that I'm watching, just because I want to like see, what they look like. I saw that his Instagram was weird, so I went on and I didn't think it was that weird. I just thought it was going to be him defending himself about what happened with that. I did not think I'd see some weird stuff like that. So anyways, yeah. I mean, he made a mistake, but he's not the first person to cheat on their fiance during Love is Blind or whatever. Monica's just lucky that she got out of it then and there, because this man probably would have just played in her face the whole entire time. I mean, the way he's so agreeable and like, you're right. You're absolutely right. And they did bond over cheating in the pods. People are like, oh, well, Monica should have saw it coming because he said that he's cheated in the pods. And that's not necessarily like the conversation we even saw. We saw him admit to something and say he learned from it. And
be the agreeable guy that he is. I think that there was absolutely no way that she could have possibly known that he was going to go turn around to do that. I think it's a strange irony now, and I'm sure she wants to kick herself, but there's no way she could have possibly known that that was going to happen again. That's not what he was telling her. You can only believe what people are telling you until they do or say different. So that's not Monica's fault at all.
I just wish it was explained how she saw the text. At there, because I've heard things, but there. Right. And how
they didn't explain it there.
Well, then he acted like he didn't know it was in the text, but then he kind of almost perfectly recited them later. Like he was like, I don't know what's in those texts. And then he was like, well, the texts weren't even that bad. It was just this and this. And I did say some things I shouldn't have, and blah, blah, blah.
He's a liar. Liar.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Yeah, I can't. I mean, he's not the worst that the season has to offer, but that's saying a lot for these other people too. I mean, he's pretty bad. They were all bad, honestly. Ramses, him.
All the men were very, very bad. I'll give Garrett a pass because he seems to have pulled it together in the marriage aspect. But even still, he swindled this woman into thinking he was going to move to a whole different state for her, and that they ain't going to that state. So.
Yep. And then we'll go into Tim real quick.
Can we for a moment talk about how all the men were so kind and loving towards each other at this reunion? They were all holding each other's knees and rubbing each other's backs when it was their turn, and oh, you're up, buddy, I got your back, like physically comforting each other, which is beautiful. But y'all weren't capable of just loving these women, or y'all just came on here to be famous and you're like, oh, you're up, buddy.
You're up.
It's just so weird to me.
It is strange. I'm not gonna lie. There's just, at least they're being supportive, I guess. Like,
what is that where your cursor was just at? Is that like a tie-dye pillow going on in between them?
Where is it?
In between Leon and
it's some kind of weird
right there.
Thing. Sorry, I'm trying to pull something else up really quick while we're getting on the topic. But do you want to get into Tim, or do we want to get into Leo?
We could briefly go into Leo, maybe. Is that the way? I think that's the way it went. I don't really care though.
I don't care. Leo was kind of a random one that they threw in, and they were like doing this weird thing where they were like almost wrestler style, like introducing people. Like, we got this couple here. Like, they had these people behind silhouettes in the beginning. They're just trying to psych us up for these people we've already seen before. So they ended up bringing Leo out to talk about his Rolex, to talk about Brittany, to talk about all the weird, awkward stuff. Which, to be honest, Leo was like the most likable person in this whole damn reunion. I was shocked.
By far the best guy here. If he would have showed up to Love is Blind this way, he probably would have been with somebody else who was less shallow, and then he probably would have made it onto the show and possibly got married. But I'm not sure that was his goal. Maybe he just wanted to show off his art that he sells, because I checked out his website when I saw him.
Honestly, I did check out his Instagram, but I never checked out his site. But I assume he sells for pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Or am I wrong?
I mean, art is not cheap usually.
Well, I did learn that him and Brittany, they didn't like stay engaged for very long. They went on their Miami trip, and she must have got the ick in some way. And and then now they're not together.
Wouldn't stop drinking her drinks.
He kept taking sips out of her drinks, and he probably still does.
That's weird, right?
I mean, it's weird, but it's
I like to try a bite of my husband's food often, probably every meal he gets when we're somewhere else, but not if it's the same thing that I have, and not all the time, just at home and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Look at her. She was Barbie.
The way this girl's boobs just sit. I wish mine could just sit. But
well, that's not natural, right?
No, that's definitely not. They don't look natural. I just wish
I think
mine
that's
would
the
sit.
point, though, too, of they're not supposed to exactly be natural looking. She's gorgeous,
No.
though. Love her.
Yeah, no, I just wish mine would sit like that with no
Yeah,
help.
I bet. I mean, that's why people get surgery because they wish that they would sit like that.
Just to sit in the one spot and not move, like look like they were carved out of my
I
body.
know. Uh-huh. Yeah, whoever did those did a great job, so that's for
Something
sure.
like that. But
Anyways.
anyways, yeah, it's definitely distracting. But yeah, she was talking about how they're besties and they seem like besties online. I'm not gonna lie, her and
They
Leo.
talk to each other for an hour a day. That's more than we talk to each other now, and we're besties longer than they're besties.
Yeah, so they're besties. I think it's cute, good for them. They
Yeah.
brought a little bit of lightness to the reunion, and I was not expecting that from them.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
I think the awkwardness of the reveal, they asked her about that. She's like, I just thought it was awkward because what was it? It was a weird reason. I was like, oh, I thought you were not attracted to Leo.
I don't remember her reasoning other than the drinking situation, but
that, and there was something I don't know. She said something. Remind me, Chick Chat. I don't remember what she said, but it was like a really weird, lame reason. And I was like, girl, this man was like grabbing your neck and forcing you in his jacket.
Oh, well, she said for the reveal that he was actually the most comforting part of the whole reveal, that it was actually the cameras and the whole situation that made her feel awkward and I think possibly being engaged, but that he was the most comforting thing of the whole thing. She wasn't mad that she wanted to correct the record that people were saying that he was being overbearing. And she said, no, that was the most comforting part of the whole thing.
It was the best part.
So let's not pretend that we know this woman because she has different ways of thinking.
Man, she's a trooper, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I always wonder what would have happened between Leo and Hannah had he picked Hannah and stayed with it.
I wish they would have gone into that a little bit more too. I mean, both Hannah's single now. Why didn't they talk? I know they brought Hannah into it, roped her in a little tiny bit, but I wish that they would have talked about that a little bit more than they did.
They didn't make him explain any of that. They didn't explain him, and they didn't go over the him and Hannah breakup. None of that. Why didn't they get into that? That was like iconic.
It was really weird. It was.
This man was like, I love you. I was gonna pick you. I can't believe you. What we do. You're only saying no because of the timeline, Hannah. It's the timeline. It's the timeline, Hannah.
Yes, he kept asking if she was sure, and the choice was made. They did bring it up, and they let him explain it away and apologize for it, but they didn't ask him why he was so crazy. I think someone like that who has that much money, who's had that much money his whole life, is not used to not getting what they want.
Yeah, I think that's really what it boiled down to.
He just has no coping skills or soothing skills for disappointment at all.
In the moment, Hannah's like, yeah, I think I'm going to pick Nick. Yep, this is mutual, right? This is mutual. Yeah. All right. Can I get you to sign a contract? This is mutual, Hannah. And will you give it to Brittany so she can read it?
Yeah, so weird. That was weird.
That was so strange. Not as strange as the dude who had to put in the eye drops. It was Andrew put in the eye drops.
I forgot about it. Love Andrew.
Some occurrences on this show, but
yeah.
Oh man. Speaking of boobs, where did this girl go? Her boobs are out the entire time too. I'm like, you guys are getting real like naughty at these reunions.
Alex's boobs.
Alex, yeah, that's who I'm talking about. Like I swear they've been getting real flashy at these reunions.
You know what? Get it, girl.
Yeah, it seems to be their time to
wear. Got it. Flown it.
You got it, flown it.
Isn't she a fashion something?
She is, I think. I think she is. Hold on, I'm gonna have to. Hold on, not them. Enough of them. I'm sick of them. Can't do them anymore.
Please, let's not go back.
I had to open a new one where I was at. But yeah, her dress was super revealing, which it looked good on her. I mean, she looked good. It's just let me pull this up now. Sorry, Chick Chat. Just gathering my basket real quick. just gather my things.
We're
not pros at going live just yet.
It's okay.
Not that.
Not
that. What's this one? Oh, it is this one. Okay. Sorry. My bad. ChickChat.
You good.
It is this one. Yeah, open it. Okay.
There we go.
There's Tits McGee. So she's there with Monica. Yeah, they went into her and Tim's weird breakup. Her and Tim are both saddened to know that the worst part of their relationship is the only part that people care about, which was the fight where she grabbed his mouth or something.
Yeah, don't you think? I mean, it's my opinion that dude was just waiting to leave Alex after that whole thing happened. That's why he was so weirdly happy about leaving her. Yeah. So I don't understand his being so baffled that that's what people want to talk about, because don't people want to learn how a relationship that you guys told us all you were going to get married, you told this man, this girl's father, that you were going to get married to her, wrote him a whole letter, did all this stuff. Why wouldn't we ask about what's going on, what led to this, what led to the breakup? And definitely that argument is what led to the breakup. And I get his whole reasoning of, he didn't want to become like, have people perceive him as aggressive and this and that. But there's a whole different way to go about it. If somebody's asking for space, then you just give them their space. Yeah. That's it. That's all you have to do. You can figure it out later if they like you still or not, or what happened or how to respond next time. But I feel like I can't stress enough to the 13 people watching. If someone asks you for space, give them their space, at least for 10, 15 minutes. I mean, sheesh, it's not worth escalating people's emotions.
Yeah. I mean, homegirl took a little nap, and I don't know, their whole breakup was so weird and strange. He walks in there, makes her stop what she's doing, which is eating a meal. Yeah. To break up with her. Like, let the girl eat first.
This man would not allow this girl to just live. She was trying to work at the bar that she works at. She was trying to eat a meal because she hasn't ate all day. She's trying to take a nap so that she can go to work, all while she's filming a show and working her ass off as well, all while she's supposed to be planning a wedding and building a relationship. You won't just let this woman live. You only will allow it on your terms. I completely agree with what she had to say to him about how he wanted everything to be on his terms and his way, because it was like that. All she said to you when they broke up was, I haven't ate all day. Can we wait until I eat? No, come sit down. Come sit right here. He even told her where to sit. Get over yourself.
He even told her where to sit. He did.
Come on, sir. Do better. I'm so glad that she's not with him. She deserves so much better than that.
He was hoping to never see her again, and here she is in front of him.
And this is the look I'd be giving him, is this look right now with my titties out the most beautiful way that they need to be. Hello. Here I am. Hello. It's me.
Yeah, it's funny. But yeah, it seems there was a big disconnect there, Blue. I think that they just had a big miscommunication, but instead of working on it like normal people, he just was like, nah. But yeah. And I don't think these people probably should have got married. But they could have probably ended up in a relationship at some point if they met on other terms. But yeah, this man was ready to dip at the slightest inclining of confrontation. In fact, he said so himself in the first time we see him in Mexico or whatever. He's saying to her, if a girl gets me to raise my voice once, I'm done with her. I'm done with the relationship. I know who I am, and blah, 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 blah. Which, that's great. More power to you. Power to the people. But you also can't be so toxic as to not understand that you're going to have disagreements and fights and things like that. So, yeah, and it looked as if anytime there was an disagreement, he comes in there like, I didn't think I was ever going to see you again.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. He's just... He's too much. And I get where you're coming from, and Blue. I do think she could have put a little more effort into the relationship, but at the same time, when you have somebody that's sitting there like, if I have to raise my voice, I'm never gonna see you again, and then at some point I'm gonna come in here saying I hope I never see you again and smile. I just think it was pre-plotted from the beginning on his behalf. But I can see where you're coming from, and Blue.
He's
I
a
think
plotter. He's a plotter. He's a track star.
he's a plotter,
But
he's a track star, he's a runner, he's all of it.
he is a runner.
He's a runner.
I'm saying the pick of these men this season was just
Bad.
atrocious.
Bad.
I mean, Hannah was a lot for me too. Mm-hmm. But honestly, this whole season of cast members, it just didn't hit. You know? Yeah. And then you got everybody here at Marissa's reunion. And I'm not learning anything new.
What's crazy though is it's like I do feel like there was a lot that happened this season. It kind of had a slow start to me, but I do feel like overall it was a pretty good season, and I enjoyed watching it. I think that there was a lot to unpack here at this reunion, and I mean that was a little bit hit and miss as usual, but
well, now we are a show for drama. You know, it used to be that it was all about the love and the love is blind, but now Netflix has known that they can really bank on these dramatic situations.
Yeah.
So,
and that's probably why the people are trash, because there's always going to be drama when it comes to introducing two people that have never met but are already engaged and make them get married on this crunched up time process. That's just going to bring drama in itself. So yeah, I think you're right. A lot of it is the people suck, and it's hard to relate to them. It's hard to have empathy and compassion for them, especially when it's clear for people like Steven and people like Nick, apparently, that they're really just here for fame.
I mean, I think most of them are, but I mean, and then if you look at what's the other show that they do? Not The Love is Blind, but the Lachey's. What's the other one that they do?
Oh, Perfect Match.
No, not Perfect Match. The other one with the couples and the mismatching of the couples.
Oh, The Ultimatum.
Ultimatum. Okay, so the last season of Ultimatum was pretty damn dry, and I think it's because, you know, all these people didn't really want to break up with each other or whatever. The best season of The Ultimatum was Queer Love.
So good.
It was so good.
10 out of 10 would recommend if you haven't seen The Ultimatum Queer Love yet. Go watch that for sure.
So definitely, I mean, so they can bring that back. I would watch that.
Well, I thought that they were going to do an Ultimatum Queer Love gay version because they didn't
know, but they're starting to burn out on Love is Blind, I think.
Yeah, it's one of those things at this point, just like Teen Mom, and Sister Wives, I will watch it forever, gladly. I hope they keep making it, but it's never going to be like season 1, 2, 3, whatever.
Yeah.
But I like it. I'm entertained by it. I generally like the premise. That's what keeps me back at the show. I don't care if the people are here for fame. Really, I don't care, so much about how crappy of people they are. They'll be off my TV in a couple of weeks. But I do like the premise of the show. I think it's really cool that you can show up somewhere, meet someone behind a wall, go through all of this stuff, and possible, end up with a husband or a wife.
Not a wife.
Not a wife.
I mean, all in all, decent season. I mean, what you guys got? Any last commenters? Anything you felt like we didn't touch on? Let us know. Also, let us know if you have any, I guess, would it be suggestions for another show that we can start going live about with you guys? Let us know that too, because we do enjoy our little weekly lives with you guys.
Yeah, well, they are bringing back season 8 of Love is Blind, and did they say Milwaukee?
It's going to be Milwaukee, which means that the Michigan one's probably going to be after that. If they're going off of the geographical areas, because it seems like they are going in some kind of circle. So once that comes out in February, I think it's Valentine's Day that it premieres. So we'll definitely be going live about that. But if there's anything you'd like to go live about in the meantime, let us know. Eventually, this is going to be a members only thing, but we would like to reach probably 1,000 subscribers before we start doing members only stuff. So, let us know if there's any other shows you guys would be interested in us covering with you live or talking about or anything like that. When Match Me Abroad comes out, we're going to cover that. We cover Sister Wives. We have our stories of the week. In fact, we just did our Halloween story of the week yesterday.
With our husbands. So go check that out.
Yeah, if you want to see what we're married to, just check it out.
Yes.
And
for the record, we're all future ghosts.
Yeah. Oh my God, I died.
If you go watch it, just remember this. For the record, we're all future ghosts.
And forewarning, if you are Ramses, my husband is in the military, so you might not want to watch him.
Yeah, you might be triggered.
You might be triggered just by his presence.
Trigger warning for you, Ramses.
I'm on a military base right now, Ramses.
Get out of here, Ramses.
I'm done with Ramses. I hope I never see him again. Speaking of people I never want to see again, Tim. Never. I don't want to see him in another form. I've seen him in so many different forms where it was my ex, then it was the guy last.
I'd rather see Leo again.
Yeah, I'd rather see Uche, anybody. Like, just get this.
Look at Ramses in the very middle, in between the two couples in this. Like, zoom into that man. He's just like, why is he in the middle like that?
Because he's tallest. You can't even.
I don't care.
You can't even see what's his nuts back. Oh nope! What'd I do?
Bye bye.
You can't even see Steven back there at all. It's just.
I know.
He's holding
probably
Tyler.
A good thing.
And you know Ramses is holding Tyler and Gary. He's like, "You did great, guys.
I know.
You did great." Now it's all.
He
over.
is. He's got his hand right around him like that.
It's like, we did great, guys.
Oh man, this cast is goodbye.
Nobody
to these
cracked
people.
at that knit question except me. Whatever.
Well,
hopefully next season's a little bit. I don't know. I don't think I'll ever recreate the magic, but hopefully the drama is better next season for me.
Yeah, I hope that the people are more down to earth and the drama is more authentic. Yeah. But again, I know we're watching a reality show. That's probably a lot to ask for. But
real quick, they did show us future ghosts.
They did show us future ghosts.
They showed us future ghosts of Love Is Blind. They showed us future cast members in the audience, like we were gonna give a crap about who they were already. Like
future ghosts.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, I don't know those people, and why are you giving me a preview of these people?
You know, and the thing is like, I know, don't they usually benefit off nobody knowing them until their season gets released? So now what if people go looking for them now and they don't get that quiet time?
That's what I'm saying. I bet the people gonna go look and they're gonna go see because they found Tyler's kids real quick in the ether.
It's going to be some spoilers before we even have the season. We're going to know everything. We're going to know who's married. I wish they wouldn't have shown those people. They should be kept secret under lock and key.
Yeah.
Kept in dungeons until February.
Show me a trailer if you want to show me a trailer.
Yeah. And don't they usually give us the perfect match trailer?
That or ultimatum or whatever. You tell me you guys got nothing?
Nothing until Love Is Blind in February? It's 3 months. Give me perfect match. Give me a tropical beach. Give me AD and Ollie. Give me something. I have my hands out.
Well, ChickChat, we're gonna leave you on that. We're giving you something to go, and that will be this video.
That will be our presence and our absence.
Yeah, absence makes the heart grow fonder, but we might try to figure out some way to go live here again. We got to figure out a different show to do live with, because right now we're covering Sister Wives, and that is something that we edit week to week. I think that's the only show we're covering though right now. Teen Mom ended. I mean, I'm hoping Match Me Abroad will announce a season. I think with the holidays coming up, there's not going to be as many new shows, if they're going to just wait till the season is over, but I truly hope we find something. So if you guys have any recommendations on shows to cover for you guys, let us know. I feel like it's going to be a busy winter.
I'm a big fan of the selling shows on Netflix. I don't know if you've ever tried to get into those. I'm not saying that we'd start at the top or anything, but maybe if a season comes out. I don't think Selling Sunset will come out anytime soon. That just came out, but they have selling OC, which is also pretty popular. That might be due to be coming out soon. That might be worth going live about just because it's probably not a show.
We could also talk about, what did we just recently watch? Love Off the Grid as well. We could do that. We should probably do that. Let's like think about doing that maybe next week or the week after, starting Love on the Grid.
Possible, yeah. We might, I mean, we might take a little pause too. Yeah, we'll have to, okay. We'll probably get off live and decide.
Yeah, we'll have a talk about this.
Yeah.
More is coming. We'll let you know in one of our next videos what's going on with that. Or just keep an eye out for us. Make sure you have your notifications on if you are subscribed to us, because you'll get all the info every time we either go live or have a new video out. What?
Yeah, so if you're joining us for the first time, or if you're back, definitely if you're back, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to the people who have commented and hung out with us for the last hour. It's been really, really fun to hang out and chat about one of our favorite shows. So like, share, comment, subscribe. Click the share button, even if you're not sharing it.
Reduce, reuse, recycle, Rihanna, and goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.